All right, family. We live again with the general. You already know what time it is, man. We got some fire today, especially if you love tapping into the science. You know, you can't find this. You can't find this anywhere and everywhere. You can only find this in one of the great wells of wisdom. We talking about right here with generalseti, family. We're going to be talking about why Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali, two of the greatest warriors for our people's liberation, you see, speak up when we need a champion to speak up, when we need somebody to speak out and up. These two brothers were some of the foremost warriors that would do this for us. We love them, so we do, because when it was time, they stepped forward without hesitation. You feel me? African centered. We showing you, family, a resume that cannot be refuted. We don't go down to no little nincompoop niggas. You understand? To YouTuber. No, we talking about warriors. You understand, that face scrutiny, face death threats. You see, for standing on the front lines for our people. Y'all niggas ain't standing on no front line. You might be in the cheese line, but you ain't on the front line. You see, yeah, you might be, you might be in the cheese line, but you're not on the front line. That's right. Good evening, good family. Yeah, so before we get started, family, I want y'all to click that link at the top of the chat. I want you to get over there to my Patreon, over 600 exclusive live streams. We are highlighting the cult of Saturn control over black music, man. This is deep. This is real. This is esoteric knowledge. They say warfare is based on deception. So if you don't understand the esoteric understanding, then goddamn it, you being deceived. You better wake up. You better wake up today. And also, we want you to get over there and check out Lilith, Queen of Hell, Chief Goddess of the White World. That's the one you living in. Yeah, you paying homage. You ain't going to war with this beast. You paying homage. So we're going to talk about Lilith and how powerful she is, her attributes. You see, the babies, and when we look at what's going on with our babies, this witch is her frequency most definitely is got a canopy over our community, and we got to tap into this knowledge, family. Click that link and get over there and check it out today. Now let's get back here, man. When we talking about Malcolm and we talking about Muhammad Ali. Also, Muhammad was over in Africa, speaking against apartheid, going over talking to leaders in Africa. He was loved in Africa. Man, Muhammad Ali is like a damn god. Muhammad Ali is like Memnon in Africa. You know what I'm saying? They love Muhammad Ali, man, straight up. He probably is one, as far as when you start talking about one of the most loved Black Americans worldwide, man, Muhammad Ali is probably damn near at the top. You see what I'm saying? So, man, when I seen, Muhammad Ali went to Africa, to fight George Foreman, man, the inspiration, man, because they was down on Muhammad Ali. All them niggas was, they talk bad to Muhammad Ali. They wanted to, break his will, but they couldn't break his will. That's what I love about him. They could not break Muhammad's will. They would call him Clay. And hey, listen, that's the brother's consciousness. That's his consciousness. And I respect that. They say, my name, Muhammad Ali. They would try to disrespect him and call him Cassius Clay. He beat one nigga damn near beat the brakes off for him because he wanted to be disrespectful about that name. And he took that, he took that to heart. He didn't play with that. You know what I'm saying? So they tried to this is the powers to be. This is the powers to be. You see, right over here. A lot of disrespectful American Negroes too. Them is the disrespectful ones. Them, you know what I'm saying? Just like today. You know what I'm saying? But rising to the occasion all the time to defeat these narrow-minded Negroes. To defeat them all the time. You see, and so the inspiration, man, when Muhammad was training in Africa, man, they was following Muhammad. They was running behind him, man. And to see, that type of inspiration and showing you that is possible. It was a different time. They didn't war down the minds and the spirits of the people today. They didn't war the minds down. Freedom was on the verge and it just didn't happen. It would they started knocking off a lot of the great leaders in Africa, just like they knocked them off here. See, because the thing is, the body need the head. And see, this is where, and now when the heads have been destroyed and, and the heads have been, assassinated and the people went into despair. You can't always replace, because these is like, these is these is like saints. They are not, but not in the sense, I don't want to use, but in the almost like a 1 cent from the ancestors. You don't get these all the time. You're not going to be able to, especially if you're not in defense of your great ones. You have to be ready to lay down for them. You see, and that's where niggas, the freedom, they don't want freedom. They don't want freedom because the first thing you got to do is you have to defend your leaders, which, at all costs, which we were not successful in doing. Too many of the great ones, man, left here too early. Patrice Lumumba in the Congo was another one, a genius. You know what I'm saying? Young, powerful brother. You know what I'm saying? Ready to take the Congo up out of his out of the colonial age, and they his own brother. It's always that nigga that sit right there next to you, Mobutu. You see what I'm saying? Who was his right hand man? You can go Malcolm and Farrakhan, his right hand man. You had to watch these niggas, man. Straight up, man. You watch that right hand man, and I ain't saying, but it's be the closest ones to you, man, that bring you down. I'm just saying what it is. If motherfucker ain't got the wherewithal, the standing, the right hand man sometimes ain't as strong as the lead man, and when they call for that nigga to sell his soul, he say, what's the price? And goddamn it, I'll take it. That's what I'll take it. And so it's admiring to me when we think of the greats. The rest of them niggas without that consciousness, without that, them was some bland niggas. What did they stand up for? You understand what I'm saying? Outside of Muhammad Ali, who was standing up for black people in boxing, sports? You see what I'm saying? I didn't see nobody standing up for our people that that I could just call out, and I don't know of any. You see, I don't know of any. So that is a credit to Muhammad and Malcolm, and to be able to. And yes, I understand they fell out at one point in time, over the Elijah Muhammad situation, and Muhammad Ali ended up going to Orthodox Islam anyway, and said that was the worst thing he did was to fall out with Malcolm, because they end up going over to Orthodox Islam anyway. They figured that shit out. They knew that shit was some occultism, and that's what it was. Occult Islam, it says Islam, but there's a lot of occultism in it. So it is what it is. You can take it or leave it, and I'm not about to argue because I know. You see, but when we start talking about the, other than that, you bland. They ain't, and don't stand for nothing. What are you standing for? Show me the movement to bring, as far as raising our sisters' consciousness, and acknowledging their divinity. And, them niggas is Christians. You ain't hearing, they don't acknowledge the black woman's divinity. These niggas is patriarchal. You know what I'm saying? These niggas got caveman culture. They ain't nothing but Christians and this, that, and the third. They don't have no divinity of the black woman. They don't recognize her greatness throughout history because they want to stay stuck in some mammy and jigaboo history You know what I'm saying? And everything, all our history is fighting and continuing to fight against the beast over here. And so most of our history has been in turmoil and you know what I'm saying, and struggle and shit and all that. They don't never show nothing other than that, you know. And a few niggas show us with some moccasins on, you know, and show us with a moccasin, you know, and a couple of feathers in our ear and shit, and you know, and that's it. But we don't get the greatness of our people. They want to take us to, you know, and we are, you know, we are missing, you know, a whole part of our, you know, our history. We are, you know, it's like missing half your damn torso and shit. You know, you out there, you know, just like you see a man, motherfucker, torso down, and they just be out there with their arms and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's we missing, you know, too many chapters in our books to be complete, you know, and that's where these Negroes is failing. They start our shit in slavery or you know, in a TP or goddamn moccasins on our feet. I can't deal with that. I done been to the mountaintop and I done seen the damn glory. I be goddamn if a nigga gonna tell me that, you know, my history started with some goddamn slavery or some damn moccasins and goddamn teepees. You're not gonna make me believe that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they didn't do, you know, you know, they trying to destroy our memory, and we cannot allow these people to do this. And if that is what you do, you will pay dearly, nigga, because nothing is coming from it. I can guarantee you. You know what I'm saying? I can go on ahead and prophesize for you, and people will come back to these videos years and years from now, and they say, boy, that nigga said he hit that shit on the bullseye. And I can guarantee you that. And that's why I smile, because I'm willing to believe and know that beyond any doubt, you know, that the African consciousness history, the research that all the family has done, man, is so beneficial, you know, as far as, you know, we elevating and evolving to the greater, you know, the greater levels of African self. We cannot turn back at this time. And this is what they want us to do. They want us to turn back from our greatness, but we have to look at the elites of our peoples over here and the consciousness. And I'm going to show you each one, and I'm going to show you the greats of that. You cannot find two brothers greater than Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. You just can't. You cannot do it. That spoke up, you know, for us at that time. You see, and spoke truth to knowledge, you know, and truth to our situation, and you know, and made it, you know, and made it so plain to our people didn't need, you know, some of these niggas need an encyclopedia to try to a damn linguist. You need a damn translator to goddamn understand some of these niggas out here, because they talking, you know, they tongue twisting a nigga with all this garbage that they trying to confuse you with. But anyway, family, we have to look at the greatest of our time. And a lot of people, again, and I stress the fact that Malcolm X really was the foremost authority that was pushing reparations as a Pan-Africanist. As a Pan-Africanist, going to Africa, visiting 10 African countries, and getting them to side with actually 22 nations, heads of states in Africa, sided with Malcolm to charge the United States for violation against human rights for Black Americans. Malcolm was taking the United States to the UN, the World Court. You understand what I'm saying? Malcolm wasn't playing no games. He was taking that shit to another level. And so much of what as a Pan-Africanist, you see, as a Pan-Africanist, he didn't, but at the same time had the Organization of Afro-American Unity. So that show you right there that he was still fighting for our people's, you know, nationality right here, but also uniting us with a global African community worldwide to say, look, brother, when they jump on you, we gonna set a fire over here. And when they jump on us over here, man, spark a fire over there, and they say we with it. You got all these revolutionary minds and leaders that they went to knocking off in Africa, knocking them off in America. You see what I'm saying? We got to kill this. These brothers and sisters is trying to unite on us on a global scale. You see, they wasn't see the shit that they talking about is a bunch of bullshit, because Malcolm X had and the brothers of the 60s and 70s, they had developed Pan-Africanism to be you fight on your battleground, but we is still one people. You see, and so and for the fact that Malcolm could be fighting for reparation, he was the first one really fighting for it and charging these motherfuckers for real, taking them on a higher court, because you trying to fight within their confines, which means then there's no one above them. Well, Malcolm said we got to take them to a higher ground where others that's outside of his confines can charge him and let them know we know what you done to black people over here. You see what I'm saying? And so y'all not doing shit that ain't already been done by the Pan-African community. You see what I'm saying? Y'all actually is nothing but biters without and discrediting a lot of people that didn't already put the work in. But I mean, when you at the top, man, we know that it's hard for motherfuckers not to bite. You see what I'm saying? We know it's hard not to bite. You know what I'm saying? When you got, when you got that juice like that, it's hard for motherfuckers not to bite. And I understand that. But we exposing y'all for what y'all are. This reparation shit was already put on the mantle by a Pan-Africanist by the name of Malcolm X. And when he went to, I believe, what was it? Who gave him, was it Ghana? Who gave him his African name? Omawale. Y'all know that his last name that was given to him in Africa was Omawale. Yeah, y'all didn't know that. So Malcolm X also had an African name, Omawale. I think it says the sun has returned. I believe the S-O-N, I believe it means the sun has returned. And so, yeah, I think that's a powerful name of the brother. El Hajj El Malik Shabazz, otherwise known as Malcolm X, also known as Omawale, and the brother Muhammad Ali, another warrior that never hesitated to speak on them beasts when it was time for our people to have a voice. He did that, and we appreciate both of them and show the love. And we just wanted to put out there what Pan-Africanists have been doing and will continue to do for the fight, in the fight for Black liberation, not just in America, but worldwide. You see what I'm saying? So pay close attention. You know what I'm saying, to the moves that are being made, because we making power moves. You feel me? And so I see y'all in a minute. We gonna be back, and we keep it 100 on all subjects. Make sure y'all get over there to Patreon, man. This is fire. Lilith, Queen of Hell, Chief Goddess of the White World. Man, this shit be all around y'all, and y'all don't even know it, and it be all around you. The symbols and all that, and y'all don't even know. And I say, damn, boy, our people, we got to wake up. And also the cult of Saturn, control of Black music. We already know it's some wicketry going on in that. And I'm gonna break it down to you and show you exactly what's going on. Tap in, family, and get over there and get that work. Black power.